Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS 1090J. I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. For this video here, I'm going to be touching down on something that, once again, I really never got to experience. For this video, I'm going to be focusing on relationships that you have while you're in prison in regards to the people that you know that aren't in prison. Whether it's just a simple phone call or a letter, that little bit of communication can alter someone's whole bid, and it can alter their whole mentality, whether it be in a positive way or a negative way. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump right into it because, that's what I do with every video. I don't really know how to start. I just pop it off. That's what it is. When you're in prison, and you want to use the phone, and let's say we're going to chow, some people will reserve the phone. So they'll take it off the hook. If you see a phone off the hook, someone is in line ahead of you. You want the first one to get to that phone. You didn't take it off the hook. If you walk up and just get on that phone and start, typing away and calling your people up, it's bound that someone might walk up and hang that phone up while you're in the middle of your conversation. Someone could walk up and cut you, poke you up. It could be a fight. It could be anything, because it's a real sign of disrespect at that point to just ignore that someone else already had that phone reserved. What happened in this case, this was a Latin king from Chicago. He had the phone reserved, so he wasn't in the wrong with that. But when he had the conversation with his lady, the conversation went south. Another guy had told him, before chow, I got the phone after you. Which means that when your minutes are up, your first phone call is up, you're not going to hang the phone up and then redial it. You know what I mean? You're going to give that time to the next guy, because our time to be on the phone is already limited. So let's say you run it back and you do 2 phone calls. The COs come in and say, hey, all phones are going off. Now no one else gets to use that phone because you did that. Dude was going through it. He's cussing. He's mad. Everyone can hear it. And, push come to shove, the phone clicked off and he called back. He completely ignored the other guy. You know what I mean? So that guy confronted him while he was on the phone, and the Latin king that was on the phone snapped on him. He's snapping on him. He's snapping on his lady on the phone. He takes the phone. He just starts slamming it off of the actual, little phone holder, whatever, the thing you just stick the phone back on. And he's making a big scene. He goes in his room. The other guy gets on the phone. You know what I mean? The CO sees this. So the CO comes into the dorm, tries to make sure everything's good or whatever. He goes and confronts the dude that's on the phone. He says everything's good. The CO doesn't even go to the guy's room who actually caused this problem. When the CO walks out, the Latin king comes back out of his room, runs up to dude on the phone and starts stabbing him up in front of everybody. Just bink, 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 hitting him up with a knife. The type of aggression that you can have when you hear something on the phone, it could be anything. It could be your wife is telling you that she's going to move away and she's going to take the kids. It could be your girlfriend is telling you she can't wait the next 10 years. She's already been waiting for 5. It could be anything. You know what I mean? Conversations on the phone can turn deadly, not just really because of the conversation itself, but because the people inside of the prison don't know how to channel their emotions. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do. You get this anger built up inside you. You feel like you're on fire from the inside out, and you just want to take it out on anyone. And when there's any little disagreement inside of the dorm, all that frustration you have inside of you, you tunnel it at that person, and it turned into a real deadly situation. I knew of another kid that he was called out by the chaplain. When the chaplain comes, it only really means one thing. He was called out of the dorm by the chaplain, and he was told that his mother passed away. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like a crime or nothing. It was, I don't know, probably cancer or something like that. I knew it wasn't, she didn't get killed. She was sick. I don't know exactly what she was sick with. But she passed away, and that night he attempted suicide. And he didn't succeed with it. He tried to hang himself, but he literally tried to kill himself. And it's tough. It can also make a lot of people not want to communicate on the phone. Like, I personally didn't like communicating through letters and all that. Like, it just got to a point where I was hearing a lot of bad news, more bad news than positive. I'm trying to reach out to people, reach out to friends. They're not trying to reach back. Eventually, you want to cut ties with everybody that you knew, because it just gets to a point where you're just getting consistently hurt by the fact that you're not getting any happiness out of this. You know, I'm trying to reach out to you. I obviously miss you. I'm inside a prison. It could be anyone, a family member. It could be my dog, anybody. And when you're not hearing nothing back, you just start to feel like, you know, maybe this person doesn't care as much as I do. Or maybe what it is I never showed that person I cared enough when I was free. And now that I'm locked down without that person, I want them more than they want me. Because I never actually did what I was supposed to do and maintained a healthy, positive relationship when I was on the street. But at the same time, I've seen people pick up the phone that haven't talked to their people, their family in years, and just are radiating happiness and positivity, speaking to someone that they haven't spoken to in so long. Like I said, it can change how you do your time. It can change your perception. You know, if you're going home and you've had nothing but bad conversations, or no one talking to you, no one reaching out to you, you're going home like, you know what, I'm going home to nothing. I'm going home to nobody. I don't know anybody. Nobody reached out to me because none of you reached out to me when I was locked up. None of you tried to hold me down. And you got others that people reach out and it gives them a new perception on going home. I do have someone that cares about me. Come to find out, they weren't in a position to talk to me. Maybe they moved away, or maybe they lost communication. Maybe they didn't have the right address at the time and didn't know how to look me up. Whatever it is, if it's your homeboy, maybe he was locked up. You know, one of my closest friends from the street wasn't writing me when I got locked up, and it bothered me. It bothered me a lot because this was like my right-hand man. When I got out, I found out he was in prison. I wrote to him and I said, hey, what's up? How come you ain't, write me? I held you down. You stayed at my place when you didn't have nowhere to stay. I stayed at your place when I didn't have nowhere to stay. What's up with that? We were real deal riding out. We did a lot of things together. Like, how come, where's the loyalty? I told him in the letter, I said, I'm not going to do you how you did me. Even though you didn't write me, you've never been to prison. And I think that now that you're in prison, you have a better understanding on how it is to be in prison and how important it is to maintain relationships, maintain friendship, maintain communication. So I told him I wasn't going to do the same. Come to find out, he was locked up the whole time I was locked up. Come to find out, a couple of care packages that were sent to me when I was in the county jail was from his mother. Bro was shouting my name out the whole time before he got locked up. So it's not that we were in a bad place. It's just we weren't able to communicate because of the type of things that was going on. You know what I mean? I know that when I reach out to my people, when I reach out to my brothers, it uplifts them. And to be able to tell them what I'm doing and the positive things that I'm doing, it gives them, it boosts their spirit. You know what I mean? It gives them something to look forward to when they come home. It gives them something to be proud of, knowing that we all rode out together when I went home and I became something. Instead of just being someone that comes back to prison and sees them again 5 years later. Damn, Cherry, what happened, bruh? I just seen you at Appalachia like 3-4 years ago. You came back already? How much time you got? Oh, I caught 20, bruh. It happens way too much. People go home, forget about their whole bid, forget about all that pain that they just went through. Forget about all that pain that they just had to put in. And they get out and they want to be on that same thing. It's one thing when you're forced to be violent in a violent environment, and it's another thing when you choose to be violent. And what can be a peaceful society if you choose for it to be a peaceful society? Just like there's politics in prison, there's politics on the street. And the politics on the street is to be at peace. But people go against the grain. They want to shoot people. They want to fight people. They want to stop problems. It gives them something to do. It also gives them an excuse because they lack responsibility. Oh, I can't work a job. I got ops. I mean, it's all an excuse, bruh. You get up out of that lifestyle and that type of environment, you get up out of that mentality, you'll find a way to do something. You'll find a way to be how you need to be, which will keep you from going back to prison. And I know people that got out and went right back, and it's like, what is the point of me reaching out to you now? Because everything we spoke on, that you were going to get out and you were going to do this, you lied. Because you didn't do any of it. You went right back into the same type of environment that you wanted to be in. And now you're going to try to hold it against somebody for not maintaining communication with you. How many times are you going to go to prison and expect your mom to still ride out every single time? You're putting her through pain every single year you're in there. Every day you're in there. Every minute you're in there. You're putting your people through pain. And it took me getting out to understand that and to see things from a different perspective. That I can't put all the responsibility on people maintaining a relationship with me. And now that I'm out, I need to be able to maintain the relationships that I have before I can ever expect somebody to ride out for me when I need them. It's just something that I feel is really overlooked. And in some cases, it's something that a lot of people don't ever actually get to realize because they have so much time. They don't understand why people don't write them, don't maintain communication. They don't understand why people fall back. And it's hard. It's hard to find some of my brother's pen pals because even though the first 2 weeks, the first 2 months, whatever it is, are going good, they'll tell me, yo, bro, I appreciate you giving me this pen pal. I really like this person that I'm talking to. This person uplifts my spirit. This person tells me this and that, sends positive energy. But at the end of the day, I know this person isn't going to be able to ride out for the next 20 years. I know this person can't ride out for the next 30. It's a tough thing to accept. I found myself in prison trying to rebuild every bridge that I burned because I could recognize my flaws and mistakes, and what I did was wrong. I went out of my way to apologize, but even with an apology, you don't owe me acceptance, even though I want that. And that was another thing that was hard to get over, was the people that I reached out to. I had to accept the fact that even though I apologized, they still didn't want to maintain contact because of how I was. And you know, it affected me. I'm not going to lie. When I got bad news in prison, when I got bad news in jail, it was tough. It could literally alter my mood. And I thank God that I was never in a relationship as far as having a girlfriend while I was incarcerated. I thank God that I never had a child while I was incarcerated, because I wouldn't be able to just see my baby girl at visitation. That would affect me so much. That would affect me down to my core, seeing her and then having her cry. I know she would break down right when she sees me. If I leave the house for an hour and a half, when I get back, she's running up to me. She wants nothing to do but just be attached to me. And it's the best feeling in the world. I couldn't imagine looking at her through a glass wall or through a little visitation screen. I'm blessed that I didn't have to go through that pain, and I know that there's a lot of people that are going through that pain right now. And I mean, it's such a strong enough pain. It cuts so deep. Some people hurt themselves and some people hurt others because they don't know how to handle those emotions. So for everybody that's, you know, that I put onto a pen pal, that's still writing, maintaining communication with your people that are locked up, big shout out to you. Nothing but respect, you know what I mean? I know it isn't easy to do. I know it's tough at times. I know sometimes there just isn't a lot of free time to do so. If you working a job, you taking care of the kids, but big shout out to y'all, man. It takes a lot to be able to hold somebody down like that. And it takes a lot to maintain your spirit while uplifting someone else's. So, quick video for y'all. Just wanted to give y'all that insight. Like I always say, I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. 1090 Jake. Till next time.